All right, let's go into it this morning. So here's today's action. What I have the here's our 8 Simrenko, our largest time frame. I love this time frame. A lot of you traders are doing very well at this time frame because it gives you the big picture on whatever market that you're trading. Now this is the S&P. So basically what we need to do is a lot of the top trades, meaning the runners in whatever market that you trade in, occurs when you have a running ATR. So the whole idea behind the methodology is to wait for these green ATRs to print or red ATRs to print, and then we're trying to buy pullbacks into the zone of that ATR, right? And then we're looking for an opposite color speed bar. Now speed bar, which is more like a volume reversal, or I call it a volume spike. You'll see volume really come in heavy, these levels on reversals, is that, you know, sometimes you get this market moving up, but you don't know when to get in on a pullback. Well, that's how the speed bar or speed box helps you out. It narrows down your trades for you to tell you when you should be looking to enter the market on a long or short position. So you can see in since last night and even after midnight, we've been in an uptrend. So what you want to do if you are green and you have green speed bar, green ATR boxes printing, you can see the zones. I have certain zones that we look at on pullbacks. This is my favorite zone. This is my 45-38 zone. And the great thing about this zone is that price likes to come down to the zone, and it likes to come outside of this zone. So our ATR is totally different than a lot of ATRs that print because they're different levels because we use a specific formula when this ATR starts printing. So when it starts printing then green, we want to look for pullback. So the first order of business is wait for the green ATR to start printing. And then you look for opposite color speed bars. So if you have green ATR, you look for a red speed bar. So we want to try to capture the reversal right at that zone. So that is your zone at this level to look for a long, right there. That's your buy point. Now, what you can do is if your 8 is uptrending, you have a smaller time frame than 5 sim to capture additional trades. So your top chart is going to be the 8 Simrenko to get your mind right. And when you see this speed bar or speed box or volume spike come in, then you know that zone is a high probability trade. So as we work our way up, when you get close to that zone again on the longer time frame, you may have setups on your smaller time frame, which we did this morning. But the same methodology applies. So if I pick this up and I look at now, I'm trading off a smaller time frame. So this is a 5 Simrenko. And this, you do not have to use Renko bars. You can use, I know a lot of traders are using Uni bars, which is fine, standard with NinjaTrader. So if I take a look at this, we have green ATR boxes are printing. ATR zones are printing. And it's the same method though. We don't care when these green speed bars come in, right? We don't care. We're looking for red. We want red speed bars, just like it did now. It's bouncing outside the zone. We want red speed bars, and we want to come inside of the zone or at the zone. And your longs will be at this level. So we want to look for long levels at the zone or inside of the zone. Sometimes we'll come right to the zone like this or within a couple ticks of it and take off. We got one right now that's working its way outside of the zone, came within a few ticks. I would not look for zones more than 2 ticks outside of the zone. 1 or 2 ticks is fine if you get pulled in. But you can tell that all these trades were generated based upon your reversal, your speed boxes. So you can see red against green ATR, red against green ATR. That's a setup. red against green ATR. Oops. Red against green ATR. Now, it's 8:30 right now, so we're getting a lot of action. It's moving. But you can tell this one here also, when the news come out, is that you can tell the ATR is still active on the upside, right? So how you can pull yourself in then is say, okay, well, I'm inside the zone. I'm inside the zone now. So how can I pull myself in? We use the oscillator below. Here's an oscillator below. And this oscillator is used for one reason. It's used to pull yourself in after a red or green speed box. So if I'm trying to get long, let's say here, right, and you come down to my zone, you come down into the zone or at the zone, come down into the zone at the zone, you can use the oscillator below to pull yourself in. So if I come, this is an 8DS, if I come in and I cross up above 10% here, that means you're getting long at that level, right there at the high of that bar. It tells you you can pull yourself in on the trade. Now, some traders use other techniques when you're at the zone. They have their own techniques to pull themselves in. That is fine. The greatest thing about this algo is it tells you what your trend is, and it tells you what your zone is where you should be buying and selling, and it tells you when you should look for an active buy and sell with the speed boxes. How you pull yourself in is totally up to you. We use this oscillator below as just a standard way to pull yourself in. If you got a better technique, I know some of you use other techniques to pull yourself in at these key levels, but this is like 80% of the hard work, 85% of the hard work. 15% is a pull in. You got to know when to buy and sell. You got to know the heads up when it's coming into the zone. And that's a great thing about the algorithm. The algorithm gives you a big heads up. Now you can run a strategy off of that. You can run the strategy. Now what you're going to be getting, you guys are going to be getting, is you're going to be getting my updated indicator and strategy, where what it does, it actually, what it'll do, it will give you the arrows that fire when the DS pulls in. So you can see where the arrows will fire automatically when it's a qualified trade. So if I go back through, so it's going to fire arrows automatically when that comes up. So I'm almost finished with this. I'm going to be getting out to all members, but you can see this arrow. There's an arrow that fires here. I'll blow this up so you can see it better. So what I added to the new updated version that you already have everything, the ATR and these speed boxes, but now the only difference is I have an alert that will alert you, and it will go off, your speakers will go off when there's a trade set up. So your speakers fire the sound that you decide that you want to fire. I have it programmed in the indicator where it will fire these arrows according to the DS where you put it in that you want pulled in below. Okay, so this oscillator below here is now automatically automated on the indicator on the updated version you guys are going to be getting. So you can see that it will fire arrows automatically for you as far as that goes. Push it up a little bit here. There's another arrow over here, another trade setup. So you can see, and then what you want to do is, if that happens, you put your stop loss 2 ticks above the swing high. Stops are very small using this technique. As far as that goes, you know, and then what you can do is run your strategy. So when you run your strategy like this, let's go real, this is real time. Been trading real time, letting it run to test, see if it's running smoothly. So this is just the last couple of days what it's done. I'll show you. So what you could do is you can run this. It's been batting almost 67%. Now obviously past performance doesn't always is indicative of future performance. We all know that, but it's been in pretty good. Just the last few days I've been running it. It's running smooth. We're not shutting down. It's got a real nice profit factor 4.61. So it's been doing very well, and the Sharpe ratio is 16, which is really good. So you can run the strategy. This is off of off 4 contracts, just in the last, I believe this was last run-in day or so, or 2 days. Let me see how many days back do I have. Yes. So it's been 2 days of data, but you can run the indicator by itself, or you can run the strategy, whatever you decide that you want to do. So in other words, you don't have to run, you can run the indicator by itself. Like here's the indicator this morning, you know, it'll catch these lows. If you run the indicator, I suggest looking for arrows inside of the zone like it did now. Just had another trade inside the zone here. You know, you want to look for them at the zone or inside the zone for the indicator, or you can run the strategy off that if you wish to run the strategy off of these levels. Okay, it's totally up to you, but you can see the best ones when the arrow forms. I like it right inside or at the zone. These are the trades I like to see fire if I'm just running the indicator, you know. So you want to run it right at inside or at the zone. These are your best trades, right at or inside the zone. You know, the stop I have in here is just outside of the zone. You can do 2 ticks above the swing high, but it's up to you how you want to do that as far as that goes. Okay, so you can, the whole idea of it though is that you're trying to look for pullbacks at the zone and then pulling yourself in with the DS below or any other technique that you want to use to pull yourself in. But it's the opposite color speed bars. That's really guts. We're the only software in the world that I know that actually has this methodology. I built this from ground up, so you can't find this anywhere not that I know of, that they're getting volume into zone trading for reversals. So it's pretty straightforward. If you have an up ATR, look for opposite color speed bars. This is where you want to look for setups. The software does all the work for you right there. All the work for you. Then you can pull yourself in with the oscillator, or like I said, if you want to use the zone, you want to use the zone software. I mean the arrow that automatically pops up on the new update I got you guys. Feel free to even do that.